Hello, everybody. We are getting the stream started up. We'll be with you in about 4 minutes. Woo! Greetings and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the official Rockfish Games stream. I'm your host, Eric, community ambassador for Rockfish Games. I'm joined today by who's this? Who's this guy? Who is it? What's your name? What? No, you, not the.
Hi, Gary.
Yes! Oh, so delightful having Gary back. It's a Gary, so good. Welcome to everybody who's joining the stream. We've got quite the adventurous little pathway for you today. And yeah, so for those of you who have been living completely under a rock, we are creating some DLC for EVERSPACE 2 in the form of Titans content. And this content, we've been slowly trickling in some details ever since Gamescom. And today is no different. Today we will be going straight into a Leviathan, literally, and we're going to see what that bumpy ride looks like. On the way, we will be highlighting and showcasing various items, equipment, catalysts, and more that you can be obtaining from the DLC when this thing launches just around the corner on Monday, in fact. So I'm going to be piloting this ship as daring as can be, while Gary over here, he is going to be picking up all of those rich and healthy questions that you have throughout the course of the stream. We want to give you as much clarity and support as possible, so don't be shy. Ask those questions. We will get you a response as best we can when we can. About 30-minute intervals throughout the stream. All right, so that's going to do it for Gary. I need you to vanish. Perfect. And now we are going to take the reins here. And who wants to see what a Leviathan exploration looks like? Anyone in the chat at all? Because you have to wait. I wanted to just talk about my ship just for a moment, because there's going to be a couple of things, if you've never been in a stream, that you haven't maybe seen yet. Some of you maybe have, but there's a couple of new items just floating around in the form of secondary weapons in particular. If you did not see our last stream, basically it's new stuff that does new things. Perfect, nailed it. Absolutely rich explanation. We're also going to be talking about a couple more little details along the way. I think you guys actually saw this one, but we're going to be using it regardless. And we do have a little bit of symbiosis, which we also had last time. And we're going to be building upon these new little details as we go. Pretty sure that's a, oh yeah, oh yeah, you guys haven't seen this one yet. This is nice. This is nice. We'll kick this things off by driving around with Twin Surge. This is a new booster that you will be able to get your hands on in the Titans DLC. Let me tell you what, if you like speed, this is your booster. Just straight up, this is your booster. Let me give you a little bit of an example here. So this is our ship, and after we've boosted for a little bit, whoa! Now we're cruising. Now we're cruising. That's all this thing does. That's it. It just goes really stinking fast. That's what you want from a booster, though, right?
Got some Okar Prime close on my tail. I bet they don't want a friendly chat.
So, in addition to the new sets and the new consumables and the new catalysts, we do have a eclectic selection of new gear, non-set related, that do have these abnormal yet very cool little bonuses from time to time. And Twin Surge is quickly becoming one of my favorites, honestly. It's a lot of fun. But you also have to be careful with it, like say you're navigating a tight space and you're using your booster too much, and then you hurt the poor creature that you're flying into. Let's go. Let's go see what a Leviathan's all about. So yeah, lots and lots and lots of details. As you can see here, we have a Leviathan sighting. Now, quick point. We have completed the Leviathan mission chain, and now this is going to be one of the replayable missions that you can do over and over again, because that's what replayable means, in order to acquire what's called a Leviathan Pearl. And we will be doing this dive a number of times through the stream. And again, through the course of the stream, if you have questions, if you make observations, if you know anything at all, feel free to ask. One last thing before we go diving straight in is that, of course, this is work in progress. Even with the release out on Monday, it is possible that you could see a little gimmick or two. And yeah, if it happens, it happens. Dev builds are like that. All right, let's go. Let's do this. Let's do this.
Arrived at Dr. Capania's coordinates.
Then let's hunt some cloud grazers.
All right, so we've already gotten a little bit of details, probably what you would get from, you know, having done the mission chain. But here we have a number of highlighted green targets. We also have a new enemy here. It says Redeemer Poacher. And we see a bunch of those cloud grazers getting absolutely crushed by all of these redeemers. We can't stand for that. So let's go use this new siege cannon. That's a heavy shield. That's a really heavy shield. Ugh, that'll do it. So here we just got covered in what is called pheromones. And away we go.
I absolutely hate this.
So already you can see we're throwing a lot at you in the course of this stream. We've already got a couple of new items. We've already got a new enemy type, a new event, and whoa.
You can see the blood surging through the capillaries. Beautiful.
Okay, and there's only one way to really do this. Oh yeah. Here we go.
Some kind of fluid floating in here.
Don't get close. Those look like gastric acids.
Oh, I make it a point to avoid any kind of acid.
Nice. So as you can see in the upper left, we have an objective. In this first chamber, our objective is to find and destroy all eggs and parasites. And here we got pretty lucky because it looks like most of them are just right over here. So let's go ahead and blast some of these. Sorry, Leviathan. You didn't like that. Oh. As you can imagine, when you shoot the Leviathan's innards, he doesn't like it. And he will move around, which causes your ship to move around too. Now, if you get too close to these eggs, they can hatch. Ah, dang it. And those little parasites are kind of difficult to handle. Let's just go ahead and just show you what happens. Getting nice up and close. Yep, here they go. And these little boogers are very difficult. And you might be saying, oh crap, well, you know what? You've got tools for this. Use an EMP, right? Oh yeah, EMP doesn't work on biological creatures.
Oh, what is this stuff? It's clogging my weapons ports and covering the sensors.
Mucal secretion. Probably a histamine response to some foreign object in there.
I'm a foreign object in here.
I'll make a note. Healthy allergen response.
Excellent. So as you can see, there's a couple new status effects that can also goop up your weapon systems and your flight. And also you'll see that...
Maybe part of a Redeemer ship?
Thanks, Adam.
The surrounding tissue's inflamed. Could you remove it?
Perfect. So as you're traveling through here, you'll see in the upper right, or above my head rather, that the Leviathan doesn't really like us being inside. That's mainly because of the things on the ship, which are called thrusters. Yes, that's what those are called. I know, crazy. But it's not pleasant. It's not pleasant inside. So what you can do is kind of make things a little bit easier for them.
Splinters out, Doc.
The Leviathan's heart's rate decreased slightly. I think it feels better.
I suppose unlicensed veterinary surgery is the least of our offenses.
Excellent. So there's a lot of different ways that you can soothe the Leviathan inside. And obviously there's also lots of ways to really piss it off. So you want to be very mindful as you're flying through these caverns, because a lot can go wrong really fast. I mean, shoot, if you look at our health, ouch, we took a lot of damage from those parasites. So let's go ahead and head into the next location. Ooh. I also do have camera shake off because it's a lot easier for me to not go mad by doing this. But if you do, it shakes a lot in here, as you can probably imagine. Oh, we have a simple one. All right, so we have to find and destroy all worms. Worms. Well, Where's it coming from? It's harder to see in first person. Where are we getting pulled? Ow! There you are. Stop! It's painful. Ouch. All right, let's go ahead and see about making something to fix ourselves up, because that was very painful. All right. Now this Leviathan's getting very agitated. We might not make it through. But what we want to do is we want to search out and find the rest of these worms. Nice. There we go. Whoa! Camera shook so much that we came out of our seat. I've never actually seen that happen before. That was awesome. There we go. We have one more to find. Ooh. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Oh, I see. It's our booster that's doing that. Oh, that's fun. There you are. Ah, finally. Excellent. So anytime that you complete a cavern, you'll also see that the agitation level also comes down, which is really, really important to note because you're going to need a bit of time. That was our second interior space. Now we're going into our third. Oh, look at this one. Whoa.
Hey, those poacher drones are carving up the macrobiota.
Redeemer drones.
Whoa.
Don't mind me.
Oof. Go away. Ouch. There's a lot of gunk in here.
Why don't they just give up?
Ooh. And we're down. That is painful. So you can see very quickly, if you don't prepare yourselves, you can get run over by the multitude of things that could be inside of the belly of this beast. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just load up our checkpoint. We will have the same challenge. Whenever you're going through a Leviathan, you'll have the same challenge when you reset.
Ingestion complete. Scanning for pearls.
But any future dives, they will be completely new spaces. So here, we are going to do this challenge again, except now we're going to kind of speed run it since we know what we're looking at and we're prepared. Cool. So as you can see, the agitation's already at 0, but we can also still pull these out to reset it down to 0 right before we leave. By keeping agitation down to 0 as much as possible, you're going to have a lot of benefits on your
I
side.
think it feels better.
I suppose unlicensed veterinary surgery is the least of our offenses.
There's some kind of fluid floating in here.
Don't get close. Those look like gastric acids.
Oh, I make it a point to avoid any kind of acid.
One of the most important elements of navigating all of this, really, is just taking great care in that agitation level. The higher it is, the more room for mistakes that you have, and a lot of things can happen in a run through the Leviathan, so you want to be as gentle as possible. as you can. All right, so now we just need to find the rest of these guys. We're gonna get this one. So let's talk about this siege cannon for a moment, because I keep using it from time to time. What this thing does is a lot of damage. It's kind of hard to see because we're only at level 23. We're at level 23. We've already completed the Leviathan storyline. Yes, absolutely. It's been fully completed. We actually completed it several levels back, but I chose level 23 because we can see more Starforged and a little bit nicer. But the siege cannon, in comparison to a lot of other equipment at this level, I mean, look at this. This is a disintegrator, 546 versus the siege cannon that's almost 3K on both sides, okay? The thing about this weapon that's a great challenge is you'll see that its special ability is that you have 90% decreased ship speed. So what you trade off here in the form of firepower is literal evasion. It makes it really hard to dodge anything coming at your way. So unless you are well prepared from a defensive standpoint, you want to be careful using this weapon. All right, we have one more worm. There you are. And after this guy, we're gonna go back into first person because it really is way cooler to do this in first person. I mean, let's be honest. It looks so much better in first person. All right, now let's go into this challenging one where we have to survive. Now, keep in mind, we have poachers, we have other critters,
Redeemer drones.
bloaters, all of these things floating about, and none of them like us. So, I'm not sure if we have access to it, but if we do, what I would like to make is a Musk ejector. So you'll see one of the crafting ingredients here is a brand new one. It's called Leviathan Enzymes. This is something that, if you watched a little closely on our last run through, we were collecting that off the side of the Leviathan's internal walls. Yeah. We also have Cloudy Musk, which is right here. Also something that you'll have to collect. But one of the great things about this, it attracts and soothes different types of creatures, including Leviathans. Well, after those 15 seconds go by, I'll show you very precisely why this is going to be a huge benefit in a space like this, where lots of biological creatures are trying to destroy you. Boom! So we went ahead and we used our consumable, and as you can see, the creatures are now completely ignoring us. It only lasts for a short amount of time, though. Something else to point out, and it was probably hard to see. Actually, we'll wait until we can actually see it. So we'll talk about some more details as we find them, because this is just the first, technically the first run. Let's go into the next spot. Ooh, some bloaters. Is this another survive? 2 back-to-back survives? Shoot all tentacles before they re-emerge. All right. So as you can see here, these little tentacles, one of these things is not like the other. Thank goodness for children's programming that help us identify the one off-ball colored thing, right? Beautiful. So what you see here is a little creature that is tormenting our big fluffy friend. But we have to shoot all 3 of these tentacles down at the same time or in close proximity so that it goes away. So let's try to do that. Oops, you don't want to hit the good ones though, because that agitates the Leviathan. Whoa. Whoa. Let's have a good look at this guy though. Ooh. Oh yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah. What's up? All right, let's get out of here. Let's see what else we find. Ooh, we have a clear passage. This doesn't happen often at all, actually. But sometimes in these clear passageways, you can find all sorts of stuff. You can find enemies, you can find collectibles. And here we are not finding any. Ooh, here we are. An imperfect pearl. Let's go ahead and grab this. Armor repair kit, particle modulators, and solar panels. All right. So as you guys know, because these are repeatable missions, you have specific content that you can earn by doing the Dreadnought missions, or in this case, the Leviathan missions. And whenever you're finding certain pieces and parts to scavenge, you will acquire the equipment bound to that particular mission chain. I say that, and I think armor repair kits can actually drop from anywhere, but I digress. We could have gotten something exclusive from the Leviathan mission chain just by opening what this is called as a imperfect pearl. I see one other container. You do have to be a little bit mindful, because if you're opening imperfect pearls, then the Leviathan doesn't like that, and it does agitate him. If it's just free floating like this, it's not really a big deal. All right. This might be the end of our journey in this first Leviathan. Maybe. Maybe not. We might have another passageway to get through. Here we are.
A pearl, and a big one.
Here we are. Ugh.
Mind the teeth.
That's the way to do it. Doc, I'll stop by with the pearl soon.
Excellent.
I'll watch the satellite feeds for another Leviathan.
So that is our one go through of a Leviathan, spinning us back out. You will notice that there's some items floating out here. This is what was dropped from those redeemers we encountered beforehand. So if you don't collect them in time and the Leviathan swallows you up, they are there for you to pick up. So now what we're going to do is we're going to head back to BRI Bioplant, and we're going to open this pearl. Let's see. This is the way we need to go. Excellent. All right, let's use our super cool boosters to get back to BRI Leviathan Studies, and then probably change the boosters so we don't accidentally hit any more of that funny sort of viewport. No. Oh yeah, we're not cruising, we're boosting, so if they hit us, we don't slow down. That's actually really convenient. So this is a completely new location that you'll be able to stop at over here. This is the bioplant itself. And this is the Leviathan Studies. Adorable. You'll see here that we also have some bones. Look at damn bones. It's a nice new place to come and visit. But when you do stop,
That'll be waiting for you outside.
Dr. Maya takes the pearl, cleans it off, and uses everything that comes off of that for her independent study of the Leviathan. She doesn't care about the actual pearl itself, however valuable it may be. She just tosses it aside. And as that, you get to keep it, as well as any of the contents that it contains. As you know, that Leviathan's been eating a lot of varied things, and the Redeemers may or may not have something to do with it. And because it's got all of this sort of mechanical and metal components inside, well, that stuff over time forms into pearls, right? It's not something that the Leviathan wants in its body at all. So when you break open those pearls, you actually get those contents of what it was forming over in that original state. That's it from a lore standpoint. From a gameplay standpoint, it's freaking do these missions and get rewarded. Dang it, because you want sweet loot. Plop. There's our pearl. Nice and shiny. It's very shiny. I think it's beautiful. A little bit of a shame that we have to crack it open, but we'll just go whoop. All right. Lots of stuff. Now remember, we're level 23, so if you're looking at this and like, no superiors? Oh, how awful. Chill, okay? Chill, all right? When you are building yourself up through the game space, through the story especially, anything and everything still works pretty well. So let's see what we got. Maybe it's something new, maybe it's stuff that you've seen before. We've got Deteriorator, EMP missiles, cargo unit, thermal barrier, suffusion field. This is a new item. This is exclusive from the Leviathan drops. This is utilizing the symbiosis set benefits. We are currently using a suffusion field. We got another Musk ejector, which is awfully nice. A sustained blaster. We might end up using this just to show you something really cool. We have a sticky turret, small arms, and destabilizer missiles. So the only thing we got in that one, unlucky RNG, was the suffusion shield, which again, we are currently using one. But now seems a good time as ever to talk about a couple other things that we can get from the Leviathan as well. So in our last stream, we very briefly talked about some of the new catalysts that you would be able to obtain. And here I'm going to show all the available catalysts, all of these at the bottom. These are all exclusive to the DLC. And they can add varying traits and abilities that make things just easier, make you stronger, or require a bit of skill in order to pull off. So the one that I wanted to show you, and I'm just going to hover over a lot of these to strike your curiosity, is this one called Catalyst Homing. And this grants light homing to scattergun and blaster weapon projectiles, making them far more superior at longer ranges. So let's go ahead and apply that to this blaster we found. Plop them in there, modify, install catalyst, and we're gonna go right over here to homing. Just right to this homing one. There's nothing else to look at or read on the screen whatsoever, which is why I'm not wasting any time choosing this. All right, install.
It was just your rage and you were getting slow.
Oh yeah, 100%, 100%. So now we have homing applied to this sustained blaster. Cool. Let's go try it out. We need a target. An Inquisitor, perfect. What's its range? 800, all right. I mean, an Inquisitor is not gonna be the best example because obviously it's gonna hit, but you can see that those blaster fires are hitting quite precisely where it's shooting towards the Inquisitor. And anybody who's ever used a blaster in this game knows that's not how it works. Look at this, look at this, look at this. That's pretty nice. That's pretty stinking nice, actually. How far is it gonna go? That's probably too much. I think we were supposed to nerf it. That's probably... Let's see, can we... Hang on a second, let's get goofy. How much can we... Oh wow, it's really going to town there. That's this is what folks in the industry call a bug, because that is way too much. But you know what? Hey, it's awesome though. I'm liking it.
I think it's like the setting was 30 degrees and there's an extra 0 in there.
I know for a fact. Oh, it's so great. I'm gonna bring Gary back onto the screen here. So there were internal talks about like all of the equipment that you guys are going to be getting your hands on with this Titans DLC. And some things were like, oh no, that's too much. And some stuff were like, oh, that's not enough. And other things were like, screw it, we're going to ignore this because it's just fun. This may very well have been one of those details which was like, probably shouldn't provide that good of benefits. Screw it, it's fun. So if you find a blaster now and you're like, dang, I wish blasters were anytime good ever, you're welcome, because we've got this homing catalyst that is going to change the very game for you. It just... That's ridiculous. Sincerely, though, that might actually get nerfed. I can't... I'm not 100% sure of that. I don't think it's supposed to be operating to that great degree. But regardless... Regardless, you can see that the benefits of a catalyst are meant to be significant. That's the main thing. Fun is top priority, I see in the chat. Yes, absolutely. That's a big, big reason why we've done what we've done. And why certain things will be patched out and other things will be totally left in. These guys are also a little bit under-leveled, so I'm also making them look like absolute ease. Because we are playing a nightmare, just let that be known. And I know Gary's still on the screen, because I want to now dive into the questions that you've all been asking about while we've been cruising through all of this rich content. So I'm going to park my ship, and let's answer some of those delicious questions you guys got.
Cool. We've only got one or two. I think people are just very, very interested in seeing what's coming.
That's fair.
Right, so first up is a question from Space is Awesome over on YouTube. And I want to know, will the new booster, which you showed at the start, be limited to cruising speed, or will it be faster on the Striker?
Whew. Hang on one second. I'm going to see if I can tweak your mic ever so slightly, because we are having some interesting results.
Oh.
Yeah.
Very
it's
loud.
like it's fading in and out in very awkward capacities. So just do a quick mic check. Just go give me a Gary is awesome 1 2 3.
Gary is awesome 1 2 3.
All right, that's pretty good. I would say let's go ahead and make sure that you're facing directly into your mic. I'm not entirely sure why it's picking up so wildly different from the side versus the front, but it is kind of
very strange.
Yes.
Just tweak my settings on my desktop.
Yeah, hopefully it's not going to be too much of an issue. And guys, welcome to a Rockfish stream. Any stream ever, if it doesn't have a technical problem, it's really not a stream. That's just so that's the fact of the matter. All right.
There we go. Right,
so,
let's try again.
Okay.
So yeah, this question was from Space is Awesome over on YouTube. So will the new booster that you were showing earlier be limited to cruising speed, or will it be faster on the Striker?
All right, so we are going to attempt to work around the audio, but the boosting speed pertaining to how fast it's going to be going, it's always going to be applicable to the ship you are using it on. So when it says after 4 seconds of boosting, gain 100% additional boost speed, that is applicable to whatever your current boost speed is, all right? And your boost speed is not what has been modified by all of your other attributes and abilities and traits and all that type of stuff. So like if you're in a Striker and you get like a 30% increased boost from missile lock, for example, it's not going to take that multiplied speed and then multiply it by, again, right? It's not going to double that, right? It's going to affect your base boost speed as one of the modifiers affecting that. And then the missile lock is going to be another one, okay? So it's still going to be really strong on a Striker. In fact, I am fully expecting some obscure and absurd speed runs through some of the new race courses just because of this little booster itself. But yeah, hopefully that answers your question. And now apparently I'm really quiet. Oh my gosh, really? Really, guys? The audio is just going to be silly. But let me try one more.
Discord that's misbehaving.
Yeah, let me try one quick thing, guys, and we're gonna reset Gary and see if it fixes things. So Gary, you're gonna vanish. We'll see you in just a moment.
I'm a robot.
So we're gonna try and get him fixed real quick, and then we'll get right back into the stream because we know that you guys want all the wonderful things, right? So give me just 1 second. We're gonna restabilize. Testing 1 2 3. It's still doing the thing. Let me see if I can optimize a quick detail for you guys. that's about as much as I'm going to be able to do from this end. So hopefully we'll be able to deal with it. Really sorry, everybody, for having the kind of issues going on here. It's never fun to have to deal with audio issues on the fly. It somehow plagues us. But we will keep going, and we'll make sure that your questions are answered regardless of how clear or wonky we sound. So Gary, go ahead and hit us with another question, and let's champion it.
Right, next question is from Alligator Dude over on YouTube as well. How does the AoE, like a Flak cannon, affect the agitation in a Leviathan?
Oh, that's a great question, and we could probably even attempt to do that with a new Flak that's been added into the game. Let's actually just go get that right now, and then we'll experiment with that and see what that ends up doing. While I'm going to go grab that item, let's go ahead and answer another question.
Cool. The next one that we actually have is, could you tell people the price of the Titans DLC?
Oh, absolutely. It's the retail price is $15 US dollars, which I think comes out to be 15 as well in
Euros.
Yes, euros, and then 16. Oh my gosh, all the price points. They're
13
all
English pounds.
There we go, perfect. So it's all in that range. So like the DLC, it's very focused on the Titans, and we want to have the content that reflects that. We want to have a lot of fun surrounding the items and the catalysts. Like, you're still getting a healthy bit of content, obviously, but we're also working on more DLC in the future that's much larger. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, we are very happy with how we've delivered our development pipelines and the content thereof, especially the 2 free updates. If you guys missed those and you dive into the DLC here, it's going to feel like a super massive DLC based on the Armed and Dangerous content as well as the Incursions content. But we are very pleased with the results. And as you'll see, there's quite a lot to talk about in regards to new equipment and gear and stuff. Just going to go through here and find a Flak cannon. Oh, there it is. HFR Flak. Let's go ahead and pull this guy. We'll drop him in, and we'll use that. We'll talk about it. What other questions do we have?
That's all I've got at the moment.
Oh my gosh.
One question we just had, Alligator Dude was just asking if there was going to be a sale on the DLC, and specifically for Titans, and no, there isn't. That's just going to be the set price.
Yeah, the sale for DLCs doesn't generally happen at launch, so yeah, it's gonna definitely be at that. I mean, if you ever want to watch for a sale, you can absolutely wish list the DLC. That's definitely a thing. And you'll be notified of sales whenever they occur. So, yeah. All right, well, if that's the last question for the moment, Gary, I'm going to have you vanish, but thanks for joining us. Yeah. Cool. We'll still be able to hear you. Hopefully the mic issue somehow resolves itself. That would be amazing. Get on it, technology. I'm gonna do one last park here because I wanted to make sure we have enough room to collect all the new things. We'll just sell the stuff that we've never seen before. Or we'll sell the stuff that we have seen. That's what I mean to say. We'll just keep that for reference purposes. All of the things. Somebody's dying inside, and that's okay. Don't worry, it's showcase stream. Cool. All right. Let's go to another Leviathan. And here, we'll be able to highlight just how different some of these Leviathan runs can truly be. Because we just saw some basic stuff from the Leviathan. Yes, that's right. We just saw some basic stuff from the Leviathan. I do see a quick question that I want to answer right out of the gate. It's from Alo over on YouTube. Right before we get into the Leviathan, they ask, will the new item drops be at all levels or only in-game? So a big portion of what I am doing right now is flying at level 23 after having completed the DLC mission chains.
now is
So if you go out of your way to complete the mission change, which is more than possible to do, then you will also... Oh, check this out. Oh, look at how fast it fires! Ah! That makes me so happy. All right. Gosh, that's satisfying. Totally distracted from the question being asked. But the short of it is no, it's not restricted to the end game. The content of the Titans DLC package... Oh, I think that was actually the same eat animation we got last time. There's multiple eat animations. I was hoping we'd get a different one. Somehow we got the same one. But the level is, the content is going to be at your level.
We're inside, Doc. Let's see if we can find a
You can start finding and doing Leviathans, as well as Dreadnoughts, around the mid-game. So if you want access to unique weaponry from those respective mission chains, then you can go grab them, help you build yourself up through the course of the campaign. Or you can completely ignore them and wait until you reach level 30. It's totally your call. So this flak cannon's going to be awful here. I'm going to just do this really quick because I see other monsters are in the area and I don't want to get hurt too bad. Oh, come on, get it. Good, good, good. Oh, oh.
No reason to stick around here any longer.
Oh, an imperfect pearl. Let's grab it. You'll see the agitation goes up when you do pull pearls. But we're doing it anyway. All right, there we go. There we go. Cool. Oh, whoa. Wow! Ooh, this is big. And we have specific targets that we have to destroy. Oh, I was going to change that booster, and I never did. We're going to blow up.
A chemical lab in your butt, more so. Starters are pretty neat.
And we're going to give this one another go. I'm going to do it in third person. But here, this is a very massive space. You can see a bunch of Redeemer materials. There's ancient power crystals that are still active. I wasn't expecting to see this one so soon, but this is one of the trickier spaces, honestly. And we were tasked with shooting those critters that were flying all over the place. They're called darters. And they leave that little trail behind where if you go through them, it's going to be quite painful. Bearded Frog, you are counting deaths, but this doesn't count because this isn't the save file of the save that we count deaths on. You silly, silly man.
Does it matter that I've been counting them?
Perfect. Excellent. It's fine if Gary counts them.
Here we go again. Starting to look for a pearl.
All right. So here we're going to be a bit safer, and we're going to approach this with our Musk, as well as let's use our armor repair kit just in case. We're not going to be able to use the sticky turret. In fact, we're not going to be able to use several of our devices. Our magnetic repulsor has no function in here whatsoever. The main reason being, if we do encounter like a drone and we throw it up against the wall of the Leviathan, you probably know the Leviathan's not going to like that. So let's go ahead and just change this out with something else. Energize boost. No. Maybe we'll do nano transmitter. That could actually be beneficial here for us. Perfect. EMP generator might not be so useful, but in this particular run, in this room that we're going into, those crystals can be EMP'd. And I think I want to do that instead of trying to blow them up if I can, because blowing them up, well, any explosion inside of a digestive tract, believe it or not, is not pleasant. None whatsoever. In fact, let me demonstrate really quick. So this is the cluster mine that's also added. Let's just use it really quick and see the agitation. See what happens to the agitation. Oh yeah, that agitation absolutely spiked. We might even get thrown out of the Leviathan for that, because explosions are awful for the Leviathan. I think I got through before the mines exploded. Oh, nope, there they all explode. See? Mines exploded. Agitation reached 100. So, let it be known, explosions inside of the Leviathan are no good. So any secondary weapon, honestly, just about any secondary, just about, not all of them, they will get you spat right back out.
I'd say that was a productive dive. We're doing science, Mr. Roslin.
Well, thanks, Dr. Maya. I appreciate that. Also, the CEO has entered the chat. Welcome, Michael, CEO of Rockfish Games. Sneaking on in. We are having a fun little showcase of Leviathan content. We're going to go ahead and head back over to BRI Biolabs. I'm going to see if we can buy a thruster. If not, I'll just craft a new thruster, just to swap the one we're currently using out for a little bit more transparency for the stream. Yeah, I want to see what happens if you fire an Arc 9000 inside of the Leviathan. That should end totally fine. Yep, 100%. What if I want to mine the resources inside? I mean, if you want to mine resources with a mine, I feel like, oh, I see, because you mine with the Arc 9000, you silly man. Anyway. All right, so let's see. We don't want to use basically any of these, even though these EMP mines, absolute chef's kiss. If you have no idea what I'm talking about, watch the end of the last stream. It's so good. These mines are like my new favorite. They're solid. Not to say that the cluster mines aren't impressive, because they are. They actually can do a ton of damage in the right HRA. But I digress. So we're gonna use the HFR flak against the wall, because we didn't quite do that yet. Sorry, whoops. But otherwise, we're gonna fly back through Superlight until we have another Leviathan sighting, because it does take a little bit of time for us to find them. I didn't create a new thruster. That's fine. I'll craft one. It does take a little bit of time for Leviathans to be sighted, so we're gonna fly around Kosh orbit here and then head on over to the neighboring planet.
Mr. Roslin, I've spotted a Leviathan.
Perfect. All right, let's go ahead and we're gonna go ahead and put Musk directly on us.
Right. Let's start collecting Musk.
Transmitting.
We don't even want to have to fight. We're just gonna put the Musk on straight up, and Leviathan's gonna come swallow us up. Just to speed up that process a little bit.
Secure for ingestion.
We got the same opening cutscene again. Oh my gosh, that's 3 in a row. Though that Leviathan looked a little bit different. I wonder if you guys caught that. This is a different Leviathan. All right, so we are going to craft ourselves a new thruster here. Anything will do.
Doc, we're starting our descent. I'll let you know if we find a pearl.
Because this just looks way too cool. All right, here we go. Let's see what we find and how far we can go. We'll also do an HFR flak really... Oh, never mind. It closed. Have to keep moving forward. All right, here we go. So agitation doesn't look like it's actually increasing too badly. Almost about as fast as normal. That's convenient. I'm kind of impressed by that, honestly. Yeah, let's just use this. Serving us well. It does seem to be going up a little faster than normal, but I digress. Here's some more eggs. Oh yeah. HFR flak, my new favorite now. Leviathan doesn't have to worry about it whatsoever. Yeah, there's definitely agitation. And it's hard to see from the stream, but the Leviathan is actually moving around, and it moves the ship around too. So if you agitate it too much by doing something wonky, it can make it hard to navigate. All right, we've got the worms again. Ow. Let go. Thank you. Oh, there's another one where you... Oh, there you are. There we go. Lots of damage. Let's go ahead and get our armor back up. Just using that armor repair kit. Just to keep things a little bit on the safer side. Oh. Where you at? Where you at? Ow. Where are you at, punk? There you are. And all our armor's gone again. Perfect, perfect.
His nutritional requirements must be huge.
Let's see if we can search around for more worms. You'll also notice that your sensors kind of suck whenever you're on the inside of a Leviathan. That is very much intentional. You have to be very cautious, very careful, and normally third person's just going to be better as a whole. But first person's just too much fun, so I'm doing this for you guys, just for enjoyment. Ah, there you are.
Do they grab you out of instinct, or can they actually eat metal?
Beautiful. All right. By default, first person is my favorite view. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm really happy with the new cockpit views that we created. Like, this one is my new favorite. I love this one on the medium ships. Like, just the range of view that you have with this one. I think this is the third cockpit C or whatever. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this one. I think it looks great. All right, let's dive in further. Here we go. Hopefully we have enough health to deal with whatever's around the corner. Oh my gosh, we got this. Oh sweet, we got a new objective. So there are a number of objectives that we actually haven't seen yet, and I'm hoping to get through a couple more with you guys. But this one says you have to cut the group of nerve cords all at the same time. So as you can see, we have got a nerve cord here, we have one here. And when you shoot them, they break, but they don't go away. So what you have to do is you have to find a good spot to align all of the nerves and shoot them all at the same time. And when they snap, you're able to get to the next location. Whew. I feel like we're missing. We probably could find some loot around here too, but we're gonna keep going. Also, these little goopy things, they do slow your ship down when you run into them, but it's just a momentary stopper. It doesn't really do anything else to the ship. Just want to be careful in how you're cruising through things. We might have 2 more locations before we can get to the Pearl. Let's see how it goes. Okay, we have a clear one, but we're gonna get blasted at. Oh shoot. Here's some macrobacteria. I want to try and do this. It's probably the smartest thing because we're gonna take a lot of damage. Come on. Okay, we're leaving. Ouch, that was a lot of damage. But in those locations, they're very open, allowing you to take your time, even though the agitation constantly goes up. Here's another new objective for you guys. This will be explained probably with the story, but we have these harpoons that you have to pull out.
Oh, poor baby.
Ow!
Who's a good giant space beast? It's you.
Ow! That was painful. Hang on a second. Whew! I forget how weak your ship is when you're at something like level 23 and you're playing a nightmare. Okay, so now that we have some health, as opposed to none, let's go ahead and pull this wound out. Cool. Agitation also goes down when you pull anything out of wounded spots. Let's check out this container real quick. Just a standard sensor. All right. But you can see the team was very hard at work in designing these interiors, making the space feel just absolutely positively this. Really happy with the results. It's kind of fun because we went through a number of iterations as well on figuring out what the interior space ought to look like, both from a realistic standpoint, but also from one to help guide the player through. If you guys have a clever eye of game design, you'll know that it's been very easy for us to always find the exit for any pathway for a number of reasons.
Spotted a pearl.
One, it's just the general design of the level layout. But two, we also have those large glowing globules of, it's like a blue light. You will always see those at the exit that you're trying to reach. So there's a lot of little hidden details in our design that's going to make traveling these spaces less nauseating than you might think. Even as I'm flying through this in first person, you guys can probably see that the space is more or less pretty contained, but also explorable. Like, you have to search. You can't just find everything directly in front of you.
Watch out.
And that's how we've mostly approached this Leviathan. This is a
Result.
multi-tiered dungeon, if you will, that you must explore, complete various objectives, as you've seen, and then you're rewarded for it. So let's go crack open this Leviathan. Let's see what we can get. If we don't get any new cool stuff, then I'm going to go back to home base and pull some more for you. Somebody said audio went whack. You gotta be kidding me. If the audio is going weird, please tell me. I will fight somebody if the audio keeps having problems. I spent like 4 hours last week on audio tech stuff so this crap wouldn't happen. And here we are. Ugh. All right. Let's get back to the BRI bioplant. It just dropped it out for a bit. Oh, that's really comforting. It just randomly goes out. No big deal. All right, let's dog at the Leviathan Studies.
Signs of, sorry. I'll eject your pearl first.
So something else to point out, and I didn't actually show this, but let's go ahead and go to the crafting. You can actually see that we have a Leviathan pearl on us. This is an item that you collected as a legendary item. And when you dock, it gets ejected. So somebody out there might be asking, well, wait, what if I like do multiple Leviathan runs and I collect like 10 pearls and then I dock? Is she only gonna eject one and then I have to like dock again? She ejects another? No. She'll spit them all out once. It's actually kind of fun to watch. Definitely, highly recommend it. It's very satisfying. Yeah, it's really cool. We might collect a couple more. Just kind of looking at the time, we'll probably do maybe 2 more runs. And then we could like launch both Leviathan pearls at the same time. So let's go ahead and launch. She's gonna send the Leviathan pearl out to us. Beautiful. And we just have to smack it open. Kapow! Ooh, a new item to show. A new legendary item to show. That feels good. That's what we want in the stream. Thank you, RNG. So let's go ahead and cruise through some of these new items here. We've got the XM426. This is another bioweapon. This is now the 3rd bioweapon that we have been able to showcase, a legendary bioweapon. The other 2, if you missed it in the last stream, we revealed 2 coming back items. 2 items that have come back from EVERSPACE. They're returning items. There we go. Words are hard sometimes. They're returning items from EVERSPACE 1. We have the goo gun, which is called Viscous Intent, and we have the plasma thrower, which is called Inferno. Both of those items, being bioweapons, as you can imagine, are also found from the Leviathan mission chain. So we have XM426. So how is this different from the other 2 items, you might ask? Well, I'm glad that you did, because I'm here to tell you. This little guy is about corrosion, whereas the globules from the goo gun are about stacking damage, and Inferno is also kind of about stacking damage, but it's lasting damage. This one is all about stacking corrosion specifically. And in combination with one another, all 3 of these bioweapons are, they're very powerful. if we have enough time, I might pull up another save that I have and show you just how powerful those are, if we have time. This one discharges acrid projectiles that apply a stack of corrosive slime and deals additional 50% of its kinetic damage as corrosion over 6 seconds. The stacks will also reduce the movement and fire rate of your target, stacks up to 6 times. So in comparison to our other items, you can see that it's pretty strong as well. This is not just a small number here. You got to remember we're at level 23. So if you're trying to compare this to something, you're like, oh yeah, well my level 30 item does blah, blah, blah. Remember, we're doing this mission chain after we have completed it, sort of in the middle to late game here in this particular section. But you can do these as early as about level 18, level 19, and even level 20, okay? So we're gonna go ahead and plop this bad boy on. We're going to replace our pulse laser because this guy, in a way, is very much like a standard firing weapon. Nice and gloppy gloopers. And I mean, it looks pretty cool too, like the lasting effect. I like that. I think that looks pretty neat. Maybe I'm just a sucker for polished game design, but yeah, it's fun. Let's go ahead and use it on a target. It's got some good range too, as you can see from 1,500 meters. So remember, this is a corrosion weapon, so even though those shields were there, man, he dropped fast. Oh, let's also heal up our armor. Woo, there we go, restoration. Nice. Symbiosis set helping us out on that. So nice range, nice corrosion damage. I mean, these guys are lower levels than us, so you know, there's that. But just gonna goop him out of the way. Oh, this Crusader. Oh, this is fun. Look at this guy. The way that it stacks and that damage, it just eats through him. Nice. So all three of these bioweapons are all about stacking and imposing some type of an effect upon your opponents. And both the Viscous Intent and this one, the XM426, both of these happen to hinder your opponent's movement abilities so that you can hit them even harder from even further away. Really nice, able to utilize that. Let's see what else we grabbed, see if there was anything else. We have Symbiosis here. This is the Exoskeleton. Your repair per kill will apply to your hull so long as your armor is full. A nice little trait to have. And that's going to be it for this particular run. Let's go ahead and answer some questions. I've been seeing a number of them coming through. So Gary, I'm going to bring you back on. If we do have some mic issues, everybody, I do apologize. Sometimes Discord likes to be funky like that, but we're going to power through. We're going to answer your questions because that's what we're here for. So let's go. Let's do it.
Let's hope it's solved. We shall see. We shall see. So first question this time is from Excelsior over on YouTube. Do all Leviathan innards have the same color, or is it possible to encounter one with, say, blue flesh, for example?
That's a very particular question. I don't believe we have any blue flesh Leviathans, but as you could see from just going back through, the state of the Leviathan's innards can be varied. So even though you're going to give a lot of fleshy sort of results there, the spaces thereof, you're going to have different objectives, you're going to have different enemies, you're going to have different allies in some cases, you're going to have a lot of different things to interact with, which is going to shape and change just how those runs are going to look. Visually speaking, we've put a lot of effort into the Leviathans, a lot of new assets just surrounding those themselves, hoping to show you even more when we dive into another run here soon. But no, alternate colors of the innards, not so much something we focused on. Not so much something we focused on. What's another question we have?
This time we're with Space is Awesome over on YouTube again. There have been a ton of new weapons and equipment since the game release. will we see new resources and ore? But I think you have shown them inside the Leviathan.
Yeah, so we've seen a little bit of it. So we have these Leviathan peptides here, and then we also have the Leviathan enzymes here. Now, this resource is not used for much, but what it is used for can come in a pinch, specifically whenever you're dealing with critters. So if you're trying to travel back through the Leviathan and you're having a hard time in maybe one of those spaces where you're tasked to survive, and there's parasites all over, and darters and bloaters, and there's a number of other creatures that we actually haven't gotten to, you'll want to craft something like a Musk Ejector, which requires these resources in order to protect yourself. Sometimes fighting those various creatures inside is not going to end well for the Leviathan, so even if you're just defending yourself, it can make you lose out on being able to obtain the pearl. So there are these 2 new resources, specifically through the Leviathan quest line, and then obviously the Leviathan pearl itself, so I suppose you get 3 new ones. Actually 4, because I forgot about Cloudy Musk. Silly me. Right next to it, 4 new resources, all of which will aid you in your quest. So, yeah, it's a good question. What else we got?
This one's probably a little bit of an investigation question that people will have to find out for themselves, but Kizor on Twitch is wanting to know, can you place sticky turrets inside the Leviathan?
I guess we'll have to try. Pretty sure the answer is no, but we'll find out. I will fully admit that even though I've been testing the freaking heck, all of our teams have been testing the freaking heck out of the content, there are some little moments and details that, you take 23 people versus thousands and thousands of players. There are a few more eyes over here. They exist more, right? We do our best. So not every single cross detail has probably been checked. We've gotten most of them, though. Personally, I haven't tested this, so we'll find out together. What's another question we have?
Alligator Dude back on YouTube would like to know, are there any new devices?
No, we have not created any new devices for this DLC content. We're actually pretty happy with the devices that we currently have. Not to say that we haven't, had those levels of discussion internally, but for the content that you're receiving here, we really want everything to focus around those Leviathans themselves, and we didn't feel like any device would really be suitable in the category of, well, the Titans themselves. So no, we have not created any new devices in this DLC content. I love that question. But we did make a bunch of new standard items, a bunch of new set items, a bunch of new legendaries, a bunch of new catalysts, a few new resources as you saw, a bunch of new consumables, obviously 2 entirely new mission chains, new characters to meet, and a lot of new abilities that you can earn through the various items and equipment that you get. So it's nothing to scoff at. It's just not devices. So what else do we have?
Right, we've got one from Perils on Twitch who would like to know, are there any difficulty settings limits to the Leviathans, i.e. are they only going to be accessible on harder difficulties or are they available on all difficulties?
No, it's going to be accessible on all difficulties. At Rockfish Games, we do not like content gating because of difficulty, okay? Like, if you want to experience something and put it on easy mode, okay, go for it. That's fine. For our hardcore audience, after you complete the game, if you want to go crazy town and go into nightmare mode, go for it. That allows you to also earn legendaries throughout the game session. But that's if you want to go into that hardcore space. For the standard gameplay experience, from very easy to very hard, no content is gated from you whatsoever. That being said, also please note that inside of the game, there are specific challenges that will ramp up regardless of what your difficulty is set on or not. Some of these include high-risk areas and incursions, as well as the rifts themselves. As many of you know, but for those who are not familiar with it, rifts, you will set the difficulty at the very start of it. Please note that you are not required to complete a rift at the highest possible lunacy level. It's not a requirement whatsoever. There are multiple ways to complete them at lower levels, as well as our previous update called Incursions, adding a way to make it even easier through the use of reliquaries. So there's lots of different ways to approach these situations, but for the direct response of your question, no, there's no content that is like gated simply based on your difficulty selection alone. No. Cool.
Very specific question, because somebody's been very eyeing of the equipment that we've seen. Uriel of Sticks on YouTube. They managed to catch a glimpse of the evolution catalyst.
Oh yeah, sure.
Will the bonus attribute be rollable like all others when crafting?
That is a wonderful question. And I can just straight up tell you right now that the answer is yes.
There we go. Simple and to the point.
Right here, for those who are wondering what we are discussing, this catalyst can take a little bit of time to fully unlock. But when it does, it gives you an additional bonus attribute on the item. The question was, if you get that and you re-roll, does it change that additional one? Yes. You will then have 4 modifiers that you can re-roll. Yeah, it's a great question. And a good eye, by the way. Definitely appreciate that. Catch it,
People have noticed more and more. Yeah.
This is fine.
Wizard Jerry has got a question on YouTube. How many chambers do we need to go through before we get to the pearl?
This is a wonderful question, and I am fairly certain that number has changed through our development, because at one point we thought it was too long, and then at one point we thought it was too short. And there might even be variables that specifically alter it depending on what has occurred. What I can tell you though is it's probably around 4 or 5, but the challenge thereof within those spaces can be really heckin' difficult to super freaking easy. There's a lot of variables that can happen, so you always want to be on your toes and you want to be ready for whatever could come around the next corner. So it's, if you're like trying to speed run Leviathans, for example, you can do so in just a couple of minutes, for example. And if you are trying to really take your time and find everything that soothes the Leviathan and procure all the goods, like you could be in there for maybe tens of minutes. But we intentionally designed this to be replayable, and we know that if you were diving in and you wanted to play it multiple times, that if you're reaching a 3-hour mark, you're going to be like, seriously, when does this end? Like, we're not going to do that to you guys. Like, we want this, like, we've gamified a lot of this very intentionally to be fun. So you get in, you have your experience, you get out just that right length of time. You want to do it again? Cool. If you want to go do something else, cool. There's lots of other features and things to do within the game space from the mid game to the late game. So it's all there. We've been very thoughtful in that approach. Yeah, there you go. Lots of details there.
Yeah, cool. We've still got a few to plow through. Alligator Dude on YouTube is just asking, how does the loot for the pearls compare to, say, a tier 3 incursion?
Oh, this is a wonderful question. I am very, very glad that this question was asked. So I'm going to tell you straight up. At the start? What does he mean by at the start? At the start, when you're doing these runs, the Leviathan pearls are going to be fine. They'll be good. They'll be good. But the more you do, and the more you replay, well, I don't think it would be very fun if the loot didn't get better. Do you? So we thought about that. You're welcome. What else we got?
Space is awesome. Back again on YouTube. Would like to know, do we have an exact number how many new bio weapons we actually have in the game?
I have shown 3. I mean, I don't want to reveal all the things today. I want some element of surprise for you all. I mean, I suppose you're not seeing the mission chains themselves and several of the Dreadnought things and several of the Leviathan things you still haven't seen yet either.
We can't show everything, can we?
Yeah, I mean, there's at least 3. That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Right, a bit of a combined question, 2 in 1 here. One from Flory on Twitch and one from Wizard Jerry on YouTube. And they're both asking about the corrosive slime damage that you can get. Does it kind of increase the overall corrosion damage?
So, yeah. So, corrosion as a whole within the EVERSPACE game, it stacks. If you have one thing that's like, oh, it does corrosion. Hey, you be quiet. Today is about the Leviathan. How dare he? My goodness. Anyway, but corrosion will stack with all other corrosive effects. That means that if you have something that increases corrosion damage by 20% or whatever, or you have another thing that, you know, makes corrosion damage last 2 seconds longer, or, you know, whatever, all of that will apply to itself through whatever varied source that you have. So by using this particular weapon, the XR20, what's it called? The XM, I have the names memorized perfectly, as you can tell. The XM426, this thing will apply the corrosion damage per its normal capabilities. When you see it says corrosion over 6 seconds, that does mean that the damage it applies, in this case, a single shot would be 337 kinetic damage. That means it's going to apply that 337. Then it's going to apply half of that, which is going to be approximately 174. Is that right? I can't math all the time. But it would apply 174 over the next 6 seconds because it deals that additional 50% of your kinetic damage for 6 seconds. Okay? So that's very like straightforward math. You can see that directly on the screen. That's how that's going to be captured and how that's going to be delivered. And again, any other corrosive stacking abilities or whatever's, it's going to apply its respective damage over the course of that time as well. And it applies the corrosive stack amount to that. So whatever corrosive damage you're doing, any other corrosive damage you're doing stacks on top of it. It all stacks. It just keeps piling on. Okay? So corrosion works best with more corrosion. It's very strong. Very good, very good. What other question do we have? I'm going to trigger another Leviathan here.
Reel of Sticks over on YouTube would like to know, will the new equipment have radiant versions? And if so, do they come from rifts as well?
This is a beautiful question. And I don't think it would make a lot of sense if we made new stuff that wasn't possible to have. Oh, there's a new entrance. I love that. It wouldn't make sense if we made new equipment that you wouldn't be able to obtain the radiance of. So this is a beautiful question because we can answer a couple of different things here. So allow me to elaborate. If you purchase the DLC, there are some exceptions to the rules in place to acquire the gear inside of the Dreadnought mission chain and the Leviathan mission chain with the end game repeatable content. In fact, if you are playing a nightmare mode, much like I am, if you find a random legendary item, much like you would in nightmare mode, if you have the DLC installed, you actually have a chance of having a DLC legendary item drop. You could be destroying an outlaw base as a job. And if you have the DLC installed, there's the goo bomber, the goo gun. The viscous intent. That's what it's called. We have so many words in this game. All the words. If you need to learn how to read, buy our game. That's really what it comes down to. So there are these unique situations that we absolutely apply to. Once you purchase the DLC, it just retroactively says, hey, you have the DLC. We're going to hook you up. So randomly, you can get a legendary on nightmare mode if you have the DLC installed. That includes the legendaries from the DLC. If you're doing a high risk area, same can apply there if you're doing a superior or a legendary. Same can apply to incursions and the various reliquaries that drop. It could apply to maybe a bioweapon, etc., etc. And then when you also do the rifts and you have a chance of legendaries dropping from there, once again, it applies. So these factors all take into account that do you have the DLC installed or not, and goes, all right. I would have to double check with Hans Christian about some other specific details of those, like the drop weights and how much they compare to the standard ones. But all in all, we feel like it's fair to allow the equipment to drop in other respective areas so long as you have purchased the DLC. We want to alleviate some element of that grinding, if you will. So, but all in all, the fastest way forward to get the DLC content, much like certain set items, for example, like if you're going after the Bloodstar set, you would be in Cedo, right? The same applies here for, say, if you wanted the Together We Stand set, you would be doing the Dreadnought mission. Or if you wanted the Symbiosis set, you'd be doing the Leviathan mission. This is how we've designed the game very intentionally for you to go after specific gear so you don't have to just randomly grind and randomly hope for that random thing to randomly drop for you randomly. You can focus in and say, I want this thing, so I'm going to do that thing to have a greater chance at it. Woo! All right.
Good answer. Love it.
What else we got?
Quick question from Bill Hero over on YouTube, and we'll answer this one. He was just asking, are the new legendary items only equipment, or are the new legendaries going to be weapons as well? But I think we've kind of covered that now.
Yeah, so, I mean, we have an assortment of new equipment all across the board. I mean, we do have several new legendary weapons, but yeah, it doesn't stop there. We definitely have some legendary modules for you to find out there. Maybe we'll get to one of them if we are lucky enough to find it. And if we're not, I'll just cheat. Because I want to show you some more stuff. So speaking of that, let's, how many more questions do we have? Because
I've got one more, which
Okay.
I can answer while you're setting off on your
Okay,
travels.
all
This one's from Gatkey PC over on Twitch, and he's just asking, will there be a higher maximum level? But that is no, there's no increase in the maximum level. It will still be 30
That's right.
for the when Titans launches. And just to follow up, because we're getting a few questions about the DLC as well, it's €15, $15 US dollars, and 13 English pounds. You can't pre-order it, but you can wishlist it on Steam if you want to tag that there, and then you'll get the reminder when it is launched.
Absolutely. All of these things are true. Speaking of when will things go live, we will be letting you know near the end of the stream the exact moment it will be going live. So stay tuned for that. It'll be nice and exciting and fun for all of you. And then you can like follow along with a little countdown. But otherwise, let's go ahead and explore this Leviathan. Gary, thanks so much for answering some questions for us. Always a pleasure. Let's get to it. We're gonna do this in third person because I'm scared. It's a big space. Ooh!
Those are not like the plasma jellyfish I've seen before.
Oh no!
They're hot enough to scorch the intestinal wall. I bet they combust atmospheric gases for energy.
They're giving the Leviathan heartburn?
Oh!
I can do something to...
Ooh! Ouch! Ow! Oh, they're actually entering my ship. Ooh! Ouch! That's painful. Do you see that? Do you see those little guys? They're actually eating into my ship. That hurts. That is pain. We've got these little swarmer guys. Look at that. They're so cute, but not so fun when it's just they're literally eating my ship. Ouch.
About that?
Ow, ow, pain.
More darters.
That's helping.
Ow.
I see a reduction of the Leviathan stress levels.
Okay, so there was a question about using something in this space. I'm trying to remember. Oh, here's another new creature, a Slater.
Smaller critters living on it.
Look at those little creatures. Oh, you can't attack it from this side at least.
Penetrate this shell.
Oh, look at that.
Perhaps aim where the shell is not.
Thank you, Hive. And of course, there's new banter from Adam and Hive. Wouldn't be EVERSPACE 2 without it. Let's see what's in here. Clothes. Nailed it.
The specific item was the sticky turret, by the way.
Oh, that's it. Let's find out right now. Sticky turret. It's just gone. It is just bouncing around. It does not want to stick. No. Sticky turret does not stick. Too slippery in here. There you go, Kazaa. Question answered. Thank you for the reminder, Gary. Appreciate that. Ooh, imperfect pearls. I love it. Well, we were at 25%. Maybe that was a bad call. But we'll find out. Ooh, ouch!
Something helps. I'm sure your ship is bad for them.
They're not great for the ship either.
Ooh, you can actually destroy these things. Let me see if I can flak them. There we go. They dispersed. Ooh, ouch! Sorry. Sorry. Let's find more worms so we get through here. Let's see. Oh, careful here. Where are you at, worms? Oh my gosh, this place is huge! I feel like we went over here already, but oh yeah, because I see the... Oh no, we got more critters coming after us. Let's see. You stop moving. Ah! Oh, we did a complete circle. Oh my gosh. All right, hang on a second. Let's go somewhere else. Over here, worms. Ah, there you are. Ow! Ooh, don't get too close to these guys. They bite. I don't know if you knew that. Oh, this is painful. Ah, it's painful. We used our Musk Ejector, which causes all the critters to stop, and it soothes the Leviathan a little bit. Ah, there we go. There we go. Now we can get out of here. Woo! Okay, this is an empty space, so we can spend time to explore it. If you look at this container is actually in the side of the Leviathan. All right? So for all intents and purposes, this one actually doesn't hurt the Leviathan if you open it like this. But for all intents and purposes, generally speaking, if you find something that's attached to the wall, you do want to be careful about how you're interacting with it, because it can hurt the Leviathan, and pulling them out can actually help the Leviathan. We only saw that one container, and I'm going to just go through here because I want to get another pearl. Pretty sure we're at the pearl. No, we're not. Okay. Oh, no. Oh, jeez. This place is huge. Gotta be really careful with the EMP from these. Ah! I'm fine. Everyone calm down, jeez. Ooh, ah.
I wonder how long he's had these stuck in his side.
That's a good question.
I
Oh,
bet
oh.
the Leviathan feels a lot better now.
I just don't want those things to pop. Those parasites are devious. One more. Ooh, I see more eggs over there. I feel like I should pop them before they open up. Really don't want them to hurt me. Alright, there we go. Oh! Goop. Come out! Nice. That should be our last space. Let's take out the rest of these eggs, though, because I don't want to deal with these guys. They are tricky. Oh! Ah! There we go. Oh, except that was nice. Thank you for the healing. Alright. Here we are. Should be a pearl. Pretty sure we're at the pearl. We're not at the pearl yet. Oh my gosh. So, that question that was asked before about, like, how many chambers are there? It does get randomized. It does get randomized. Sometimes it can be a little bit longer. Sometimes it can be a little bit shorter. I really did think that we had it to be somewhere along 4 or 5, but I think we're in chamber number 6. I think we're in chamber number 6 now. Oh, this is Sir 5. Oh, crud. We're not ready for this. Can I make a Musk Ejector? Oh, goodness. Oh, it's going to be the rest of my Leviathan Enzymes. We really need more of those. But this is going to come in useful because these locations... Oh, shoot. These locations can get real bad real fast. It's a Slater. Okay. Let's take him out before he starts launching his buddies. Go. Ow, 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 ow. No, 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 no. Oh, they're so fast.
I'm outnumbered.
All right, Musk Ejector.
Interesting otherwise.
I'm gonna keep shooting them down even though they like me. All right, we have enough Musk to survive, so we don't have to worry too much. We just need to find the exit, which is right here. Blue glowy bits. Yay, game design. See you later. Pearl? Pearl. All right.
I can't wait to analyze that.
Backwards thrust to pull it out. Time to eject. Whew. You broke a few eggs, now make an omelet.
We are clear.
Whew.
Great job, Mr. Roslin. If there were any other jobs that involved spelunking inside megafauna, I'd write you a recommendation.
That's very sweet. That's very sweet of her. Very good. I look over the chat and I see you guys all just making comments. You all. Thank you all for being here. It's a good time to just say thank you all for hanging out with us, showcasing the Leviathan. We got ourselves another pearl. Let's see what cracks open. And if the game doesn't give us proper RNG, I'm going to force it because we are in a dove build. I want to show you guys a couple new little things. But yeah, that run was a little bit longer. It's gonna vary. It's gonna vary. Some Leviathans are gonna be really short.
I'll clear space.
Some are really gonna have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, there's space now.
Nice. Thanks, Dr. Maya.
Oop, out it goes.
There's still more pathways and objectives that we have not found yet. That I'm like, I want to do another run just to see if we can show just a little bit more. There's a lot of variety inside of these Leviathans, okay? There's a lot of different challenges that await. We've been getting a lot of the survive challenges, but that's not always the case. Oh, we haven't broken the pearl open yet. Silly me. I'm looking at content that's boring. Let's see the new stuff. Here we go. Ooh! Oh, we got another XM426. Wow, 2 of the same legendaries back to back. That is insanely rare, actually. But I'll take it. Jeez. We have, ooh, you know, I'm gonna keep my symbiosis because I like the healing spores. This is actually a good point to note. Set items generally are not as strong as just non-set items. So the Shiva tuned energizer is not a set item. That is just a that's just a single use item. Whereas the impulse modulator here is part of a set. So set items generally are not as good individually, but obviously they get way better whenever you get the set bonuses as a whole. So always be mindful of that. The same is true to all of the set items that we do have in the base game. Some sets can be so powerful, but you have to put them together first. So don't scoff at a set item just because it's, you know, say we picked this up and you're like, oh man, those stats are awful. Why would I ever swap to it? That special trait can come in real useful. So that's why we're using this. Set bonuses heavily outweigh that, I see in the comments, and yeah, I would say very much so. Set bonuses, like, we want you guys to go after those sets, and build some really fun things. But still, I mean, you've already seen it here. We're adding some normal, we're adding some non-set items still into the mix through this DLC package, right? Much like we did that way back in the Armed and Dangerous update, and we even did that a little bit, I think, in the Incursions update. I think we added some items. Maybe we didn't. Armed and Dangerous was more focused on items. But I digress. In Titans, we're still getting a couple more unique items, and the HFR Flak, I think, is going to be a favorite for a lot of people. This one's a lot of fun. So let's see what else we collected here. We have Efficient Autocannon. We got a Fusion Shield again. We have a Tune Energizer, and then we have Marksman Brood Mines. So we have some Brood Mines. These things, we finally have something that we can use, a mine inside of the Leviathan that's not going to tick them off overly much. I mean, the mine still has to explode, so, but still, this is going to be one of your best cases for using inside. And these brood mines, as you can probably imagine, do quite literally what they look like, and that's create a swarm for you. So let's go ahead and wait for this thing to allow us to use it. We'll use it, and then we'll start answering a slew of more questions. So the brood mine here looks like this. Oh yeah, just nice and eats them up. And you can see that he doesn't care about shields.
Gautier's crew is raiding again. Let's put a stop to that.
No, we're focused on Leviathan. Thank you. And they'll last for a pretty decent amount of time. I mean, obviously the Inquisitor has some great health. But whenever you use these things, they will attack everything in their area, not just one target. It just happens to be one target here. Pew, 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 pew. Let's stack corrosion. That makes more sense. Just a fun little swarm of buddies. And you can't hurt the swarm once you launch them in this way. They are immune from damage, unlike the ones inside the Leviathan. So yeah, just a fun little guy. So I think we're at a really good time to actually answer even more questions. We're still answering more questions. We want to let you guys be informed as much as possible. So Gary's going to join me on stream again. Hello, Gary.
Hello.
Let's see what the folks at home have been chatting about and how we can help them.
Not a lot. They've gone quiet again. But people have noticed one or two little things. Beta Frog was just asking, what does the HFR stand for in the HFR Flak?
I know this is going to sound completely surprising, but it stands for high fire rate. HFR Flak. Straightforward. Nice and straightforward. And boy, is it fun to use, honestly. Like, I think a lot of folks have been desiring to, a flak that shoots really fast again. We've seen a couple of those comments. And technically speaking, this is yet another item that existed in EVERSPACE 1 and now is in EVERSPACE 2. It just keeps happening. It keeps happening. More variety, more choices, more fun. That's the way that we like it. So, yep. And you can add more modifiers, of course, to make it fire even faster and do some crazy stuff beyond that as well. So, what else we got?
Cool. Alligator Dude was just asking how often we check the Steam forums, and obviously that's mostly my domain in the morning. So yeah, just to clarify, and this is for everybody, that if you do post up on our Steam forums, then I'll be responding to you every day, apart from weekends generally. So if you have any issues, bug reports, or any kind of suggestions, then post them on there. We will read them. And if you want to, you can also join us on our Discord as well, where we'll be answering all your questions.
Sweet.
Wait. Oh yes. Join us there.
That is awesome. So I just did something to this flak, which is going to make it really interesting. But in combination with XM426, I think we're going to have a little bit of fun here. Basically, I added a catalyst called Overpenetration, and it allows you to have 100% shield and armor bypass, but you can't kill enemies with it. So they'll always stop at 1 hit point. But because we have corrosion from XM426, that doesn't matter. They can still have shields in the way, and, well, check this out. His shields are down, and then we just go, phew, and he pops. We don't even have to worry about his shields. A nice little combo that you can do with just about any weapon. What other questions we got?
One that's just come in from Thor of Asgard, and he's just wondering, it's a theory of theirs that the XM426 is a nod to Alien on LV426 as it spits acid.
You guys are really good. You guys are really good. No, that's great, Thor of the Asgard. We have a slew of references in the descriptions and the naming conventions. I applaud you. Very well done. Yeah, so you'll see a number of those things in the descriptions and some clever callbacks, which we technically talked about the cluster mines in a previous stream, but like we want to honor the lore, the world building of our own, experience that we are having here. So those who are familiar with the EVERSPACE 1 experience are going to absolutely understand the description here, for example. Lots of nods and details like that. So, but very good eye, Thor of the Asgard. Definitely appreciate you guys appreciating the appreciation. Yes. What else we got?
Nothing currently. Just scanning through in case I've missed anything, but I can't see anything.
Okay.
If you do have any questions, fire them in, and we'll try and get them answered for you.
Excellent. So I go ahead and leave us, and we will see on the screen in a little bit more, Gary. So perfect. So one thing that is really awesome about this overpenetration is that it really is great on weapons that do a lot of splash damage. But the thing that sucks about it is, especially like against drones, you're not going to clear out the drones at all because they're going to stop on 1 health. Now, if you ever had an item, and I don't know if I have one, no, that's not going to happen. If you ever had an item that also deals corrosion damage, this will kill them. This will work in combination, okay? So if you have like a modifier that says it converts like a certain, like 10% damage into corrosion over 6 seconds or whatever, you put over penetration on that, you have 100% shield and armor penetration. And then the corrosion does have to eat through the armor first, let that be known. But when the armor is down and the hole is down, it will just pop. It's done, okay? So there are some really clever ways that you can utilize the overpenetration to, in some cases, make it a pretty strong, complete shield and armor bypass. You have to be clever about how you put that together. For here, though, we're gonna change this. We're gonna do something else, just because I want to show you something new. Let's go ahead and do shield strike here. This one's fun. So this one drains your shields, but it increases your damage by 40%. Excuse me. That is not a small amount. So let's go ahead and fire it and watch my shields. So long as we have shields to pull from, damage is increased by 40%. And that's not just kinetic damage. That's not just energy damage. That's both. That is a 40% damage increase at the expense of your shield. If your shield is down, you do not get the bonus. I'm going to say that one more time for the folks in the back. If you are using the shield strike and your shields are down, you lose the strike because you must have the shields to do the shield strike. All right? Sounds pretty straightforward, but you know, sometimes folks need a little extra nudge in the right direction of understanding, you know? So there we go. Let's go ahead and take these stuffs one more Leviathan run, and then we're gonna head back to home base, and we'll probably have just a little bit of time to maybe show and talk about a couple more little goodies that are heading your way. But we have been covering a number of new consumables, obviously doing the Leviathan sightings, doing the runs, which have never been done before in a live stream. Woo! Yeah, it's been a lot of fun hanging out with you guys, and you all asking some great questions for Gary to catalog and for us to respond to. So thank you. It's been a really fun stream today.
I have isolated several.
All right, I want to hang on to my Musk as much as possible, so I'm going to take out some of these enemies or some cloud grazers. Let's do that. Let's take out some cloud grazers. These poor guys. We'll get some Musk. So you'll notice that the pheromones aren't 100% here, so we actually have to go through the Musk a couple of times, like so. Doesn't take too long if you've done it a number of times. Oh, nope, away from you. There we go.
So exciting!
Whoop. Delicious. That was a different looking Leviathan too. How many Leviathans are there?
Here we go again. Starting to look for a pearl.
All right. Here we go. Hang on a second. I wanna really immerse you guys. Hang on. I'm gonna let you soak this in. I'm glad that it's almost louder than my voice. I want you to experience this, okay? All right? Let's see, we're gonna... where's the camera shake? Did I miss it? Oh, there it is. Here we go. Freaking die, aren't we? I don't think we can build this in time. No big deal. Master at work here.
Worm didn't get you, smacking into the object nearly did.
Had I emotions, I believe I would be disgusted.
All right. Okay. Sort of. Hang on a second. Do we have any... I don't have any repairable things here. Okay. All right. Hang on. Let's build one of these.
Yeah, I think we just had a tiny little dropout there a couple of seconds ago, Eric, where everything stopped. But we're back, so don't worry.
Oh, that's no good. Hang on a second. Let me make sure.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me just do a quick check to make sure that the stuff isn't doing anything wrong. Okay, we're good here. We're good here. Okay, we're gonna keep going.
Yep.
You lost vision when I went for the pearl? Well, as you can see, everything's totally fine. Alright. Oh, crud, this is gonna be hard. No, don't shake! That makes it worse! Ow! Quick! What?
I might be out of my depth here.
No, we're fine!
I could have told you that the moment we met.
You be quiet, Hype.
Do they grab you out of instinct, or can they actually eat metal?
No reason to stick around here any longer.
Fine. Oh no. We have to survive, don't we?
Race or turbulence?
No more eggs.
Splashed again.
Let me out, let me out!
Hull exposed. Armor gone.
sleeping behavior is unusual, and having a chemical lab in your butt more so. Darters are pretty neat.
Oh, thank goodness we got an easy one. Oh, there's lots of eggs. Oh, we gotta go. Yes! Yes!
That's just what I was hoping for.
So hopefully you enjoyed the maximum soundage of that experience. It really is, like the sound design, I'm really proud of our team.
Just leaving.
Whoa.
I'm pretty happy with how that turned out. Heading to BRI for processing.
Excellent. All right, so now let me adjust all my settings to hopefully be heard again. Quick adjustment over here, quick adjustment over there. Excellent.
You know when I pick up another Leviathan.
All right. I still have camera shake on. I'm going to just deal with it for another 8 minutes. So it'll be fine. Cool. We're going to head back to BRI Bioplants. But from here, I'm going to have Gary just join me on the stream. So go ahead and join that. Perfect. Excellent. I'm over here. I'm over here. I'm over. Oh my gosh. So from here, we are happily able to tell you some new details regarding well, everything related to Titans. So if you guys are interested in following along for the exact point of release, we now have a drop out that has those details available for you. You can read it over on Steam. It is available. There will also be a notification on Discord, if it's not already, that you can join along. It's an event in the Discord. It will tell you the exact moment that the DLC will launch. So definitely head on over there.
This one's all fleshy.
Follow it,
You've got a strong stomach, right?
and you will be in the know of exactly when this launches. And I just want to remind everybody that this is a simultaneous launch. It's a simultaneous launch. That means if you're on PC, it will come out exactly at that time. If you are on GOG, on Steam, exactly. If you are on PlayStation 5, exactly. Xbox Series S or X, exactly that time. Okay? It is a simultaneous release. Simultaneous release. All right? So if you have not wishlisted the DLC, please do so, just so that you know even further when it's available. But you now have a little countdown on the Discord. Again, you can read along about a nice little blog that Lee's just posted. Thank you for that, Lee. Definitely appreciate it. Gonna fix up my ship because, man, it probably isn't too healthy getting slowly digested by a giant space whale. But yeah, lots of fun here. Lots of exciting little details. Let's see what happens when we crack this bad boy open. And then we'll head back to home base and show just a little bit more off. But while I have Gary on the screen here, Gary, were there any specific little questions that are curious enough for our musings?
I've got one that's quite an in-depth one, so you might like to answer this one regarding the shield strike. It's from Alligator Dude over on YouTube.
Okay.
Is shield strike based on max shield percentage or just a linear value based on level like 100 or something?
This is a great question.
Part one.
And that is a fantastic question. It is a linear it's a linear processing. So basically, if shields are active at all, you have 1% shields, then you gain a 40% damage bonus on the weapon. It's not something where it's like if you're at 100%, you get 40% weapon damage, and if you're at 50%, you'd only get 20%. No. If you have shields active at all, it will eat a little bit of your shields and get a 40% damage bonus. If your shields are empty, it goes from 40% bonus to 0. You get no bonus. You get nothing. Good day, sir. All right, so very good question. Very good question. Glad
just
to...
a little follow-up on that one as well is, does it change with fire rate or do higher fire rate weapons drain your shields faster?
So effectively, I mean, we have this high fire rate flak that was shooting, you know, a decent amount there. And you can kind of see for yourself when we're firing it, every shot will take a little bit of those shields, right? So I'll do it here so you can see in the upper left, the shield's getting slowly drained. Pertaining to how much it specifically takes, I think it is based on the amount of energy. So high fire rate isn't necessarily going to be as much of a factor as just the energy pull of the weapon itself. A higher energy pooling weapon will pull more of your shields out, but obviously it gives a greater damage bonus because it's 40% of probably a stronger weapon. I'm looking at you, Synchro Pulse. But as far as any sort of linearity there, like any weapon that fires once doesn't just take a portion of the shield. It's based on the amount of energy that the weapon uses. So in the case of the HRA Flak, the energy capacity or the energy consumption is 558.3 per second. So that's going to be a direct result of how much shields you're getting eaten. So hopefully that provides the details that you're looking for there.
It's just followed up. It was referring to the self damage from the catalyst when talking about max shield percentage versus linear.
Say that one more time. Sorry, I off-clicked the game. Sorry about the audio. What was that detail? One more time?
He just said he was referring to the self damage from the catalyst when talking about the max shield percentage versus linear.
The self-shield damage. Okay, the amount of shield that gets taken is based on the weapon's energy consumption. So there's the direct answer there. Yeah. So if it's a fast-firing weapon that has a big energy consumption ratio, then you're going to burn through your shields really fast, but you're also going to have done a ton of damage. It's going to be a lot easier to see if we were like in a gunship. Unfortunately, I can't swap over that fast with just 2 minutes remaining for the stream. But yeah. No big deal. No big deal. So hopefully that's the clarity that you were seeking. Otherwise, doesn't look like we found another new item here. We did see an HFR Flak drop, so now you know that if you wanted to go after this bad boy, you'd have to do so through the Leviathan mission chain. Let's see what else we can find real quick. Suffusion shield. Yeah, we didn't get any more, so I'm going to go ahead and head back to home base and show you guys just a little bit more. If any more questions come in, Gary will go ahead and shoot them my way so we can get those answered.
Well, indeed. I'm just going to shout out to Never Fanaki over on Twitch. They've just come in and said, hi, I just want to say that this is one of the best games ever made. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. That's very
awesome.
kind. Yeah, thank you, Never Funke. That is very appreciated. We're passionate developers. We love the stuff that we do, and, you know, we're making stuff because we just love it. It's just fun, and hopefully that's been expressed in the stream a number of times. But man, we can't wait for this to get into your hands, pending a couple maybe bug tweaks and fixes here and there. But I digress. It's absolutely a pleasure for us to be able to directly show you the content of what's coming. And here's, it's no different. You know, we can cruise through a number of details here. The Initiator is actually kind of a fun one. A little bit more hard to use, and it's like, you know, if you're a scout player, if you like ranged gameplay, gunship also works well. This thing can do a ton of damage. The special ability of the Initiator railgun here is that unaware targets will receive 20% additional damage and 50% decreased speed for 10 seconds. So if you get that initial shot, you're dealing bonus damage, and then it's going to make follow-up shots super easy because they can barely move. This also very much works in conjunction with the, where is it at? The exploitation, exploitation, where 50% increased critical hit chance when attacking enemies whose movement is impaired. That would apply there. So there's a lot of fun through that style of weaponry. We also have Scrap Screen, which has come to be one of my favorite ones as well. This guy slowly dismantles enemy drones in a 400-meter radius into armor hit points. So if you're looking for armor in the heat of battle and there's a bunch of drones, say goodbye to that Zurilia problem, because now all of a sudden you're healthy and they're dead. It is a lovely piece of plating. It's situational though, so you have to use it pretty wisely. There's still a lot more that we could talk about, but our time is actually up. So I hope that you guys will be very excited when we get this content to you come Monday. We are almost there, folks. So thank you everyone for coming out to the stream, having a blast, asking questions, making comments, bantering with us. It has been a lot of fun. I am checking a message really quick to make sure I didn't miss something. Okay, cool. Very, very good. All is well in the land of getting things coordinated. So once again, if you haven't done so yet, you can wish list us to know the exact time of its release. There's also a dedicated timer now in Discord as an event. You can follow that. We also have a dev blog that is now live that you can read, giving more details. It's all there, guys. So lots of fun. Thank you for joining us. Gary, was there anything that you needed to mention before we go? Anything at all?
No, I think we're all good. Hope to see you all Monday. If you do come across any issues, then obviously we're all ears. Do let us know. We want to get things tidied up as quick as possible, and we're all good for Monday. Go, go, go!
Cool. And hopefully we'll fix the audio issue from Discord. Either that or Discord will fix their audio issue, because sometimes it's not in your control. But I digress. Don't stop being awesome. I won't stop being Eric, and he won't stop being Gary. And have a fantastic weekend. And yeah, we'll see you with all the content on Monday. Toodles! Let's have some shenanigans. Let's have some shenanigans. We skipped last time. Let's have it. For everybody else who's joined us for the mainstream, wish list, all that fun stuff, you've been great. Now I'm going to be a dork. Here we go. Excuse me. I think I swallowed a spaceship. It's moving through my intestines. Hang on. Yeah, it's fun. Keeping things nice and chill. You know, so that you can get ready to get swallowed by a Leviathan come Monday. That'll be fun. Neat. I need more water. That's for sure. You all stay hydrated out there. Have a wonderful weekend. And have fun coming this Monday. All right. Get out of here. We're leaving.